very best. Charles, I'm going to let you come back in for one more, man, and we're gonna get close to wrapping this thing up here pretty soon. But go ahead, Charles. You got your hand up, man. Go ahead.
So basically, what I was trying to say earlier, and then I guess it went on longer than I thought, so kind of off point now. But bottom line is, we can complain about this for days and days on end. We've done it for years now. The bottom line is we have to draw a line in the sand, but then we have to ask ourselves, how far are we willing to go to back that line up? And that's the thing. When we can talk all day about what the government's doing, but quite frankly, the government doesn't give a shit about what we're talking about right now. They know what we know. They know what our complaints about. They know the nation's turning up, right? They don't care. The bottom line is what they're trying to do now with the COVID vaccine, they're trying to call our bluff. That's what this is all boiling down to. And the problem with a lot of Americans is, from day one, they don't want to fight alone. And that's why chats like, this are so great, because they give us a sense of hope that there's others out there that are willing to do something, but we have to do it alone on our own at first. And I'm talking about, if necessary, violence, if necessary, like our patriot forefathers that founded this country. I know the freaking FBI right now is probably enjoying this conversation with me right now, but my point is, you have to ask yourself now, everyone on this chat, when is enough going to be enough, and what are you going to actually do about it? Are you going to comply, or are you going to lose everything you've ever had? All the luxuries, all the air conditioning, all the food, and everything, and be labeled a criminal for standing up for what you believe in? Because if you're not ready to sacrifice everything, including your family, even your life, don't talk about resisting the government. I mean, I say this only because I have been on these chats before. I have been on Facebook. I'm banned on Facebook. And a lot of people talk, but then when it actually becomes time to stand the line, it's like they draw a line in the sand, back up a couple feet, and then draw a new line and say, okay, now this is where I'm going to stand. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for years.
Charles,
we've been doing it for years.
I totally agree with you, and I'm going to close out the show. I appreciate all your input, man, and I'm gonna close it out by saying this, guys, is Charles is right, and I'll tell you, I had this conversation with my wife the other day. If you've got significant others in your life, you got people under your roof, this needs to be a conversation. This has got to be a conversation. And if you think just because you're vaxxed, this doesn't need to be a conversation, I'm telling you, you're going to be sorely mistaken. When this happens, and it's going to happen, I have no doubt in my mind now we've crossed a threshold that there's no coming back from. I was very optimistic about hopefully the financial collapse of this ridiculous system, leading people into places like Bitcoin and doing some decentralization first. It doesn't look like that is going to happen that way. It looks like what's going to happen is people are going to lose their livelihoods in huge numbers. The Fed is going to continue to prop those companies up for playing ball. There's absolutely been no law passed that mandates that they do this. And, I'm sure there will be some fights and there will be some wins in some places in court. But at this point, the idea that you think the courts or anybody in government is going to save you or your family is foolish, to say the very least. It is foolish, and it will cost you possibly your life if you believe that's what's going to happen. Now, I will tell you, this is what is going to happen as people lose their jobs and can't make the rent anymore. They're not going to leave. They're not going to leave their homes. They're not going to leave their apartments. And a lot of them, are going to be justified in saying, get fucked. And when that happens and they send people with badges out to houses to remove or confiscate or do something around there, that's when violence is going to erupt. And when that happens, you better hold on to your butts. But here's the thing is, it's not just going to be your neighbor. It's going to be possibly you. So at that point, what is your plan of action? Because I'll tell you right now, before anybody ever got to a camp, before anybody ever went on a rail car in Germany or got starved in the gulags in the Soviet Union, the first thing they did is they went to the houses. They went through house by house by house by neighborhood. They had informants in neighborhoods. They had rats. They had everything else. And when they went to the houses, people didn't fight. I'm not saying everybody didn't fight, but I'm saying not enough people fought. And that's how you get people from their house to camps. And that's where absolute chaos and destruction and evil reign. And the thing is, America, you are one of the last bastions now on Earth. Australia's fallen. The UK, Europe, it's pretty much fallen. I'm not saying that they can't fight their way out of it. But they're going to have to. They're going to have to fight their way out of the tyranny that they're in now. And if you don't watch, exactly what's happening over there right now, you're not doing yourself any favors. You need to see it. You need to see the brutality of the people who are there to, quote unquote, protect and serve their communities. They're not protecting and serving their community. They're protecting and serving the dictates of tyrants.